What the fuck is up, everyone? Tardy from my own party. I'm here, skunk. I'm here. I know everyone. Jeez, you guys, that trial. It's got everyone all like, man, that girl. 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes with her. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So, hello. I hope everyone is having an amazing. What is today? Wednesday? Is it Tuesday? Wednesday? Tuesday. Shit. I don't even know what day of the week it is. Hello, Fugitive Recovery, Lion Mama 777. Not to be confused with Lion Mama. Libby, yeah, Mom. Texas Kim, my boo thing. There's a few people sitting in silence, just listening to shit. That's okay too. Erica. So yeah, hey Manchester. That trial, like I can't just sit and watch it straight through because it just man, kids cases, they mess me up big time. Hey Spectral, change the banner. Well, there's a reason for my thing. We'll get into that. Hold on, I have to put something else up there. I'm gonna do a little e-begging today. Every dollar helps. Most of you know that I have an exciting weekend coming up. So, yeah, it took a lot to prepare for this. And now I'm like flat broke. And as Mama T would say, I would like to eat. So, if anyone has any spare buckaroos laying around, I can promise you it'll be put to good use. My cash app's rolling across the screen. Navy Mom, hello. Susie Q. So, some people I know are finishing up watching the trial, um, and that's cool. I don't expect a whole shit ton of people. Dragon Mama was live, or Tiger Mama, crap, whatever her name is. So, people are probably consumed by that. No, Texas Kim, I'm not telling all the deets. You know, girl, you know. Hold on, let's see. Should I or should I not? Just answer yes or no. I'm not going to tell you what that is, but so a lot of shit has been going on since the last time I was live. I know that like I was off track with the fitness stuff, but I wasn't feeling good for about a week, you guys. Like every time the seasons change, messes with like my COPD and just felt like death, whatever death would feel like. Okay, so some people are saying yes and absolutely. It's really not a big deal. I guess it could be a big deal, but if you don't like pay attention, then you're going to miss it. It's such a beautiful day out here. Oh, that's all you get. I have messy hair, don't care. But the sun is shining. It's like a cool 80 degrees. Woo. Sister Kelly. Hey, Fluffy. Daisy Joe. Good to see everyone. Hey, September Virgo. So yeah, my name, whatever, just a dumb mean girl. Like yesterday, I heard someone say, "What's a polite way to call people stupid or dumb or whatever?" And then they followed that up with, "Let's just say mean girls." So shit, I can be dumb sometimes. I will wear that label proudly. People have really taken this Mean Girl stuff a little too far, though. Like, they've really turned it into something it's not. I think it's quite funny. Like, I think it's fucking hilarious. So, yeah, Mom put out some amazing videos over the course of the day. Messages between the old Ernster, our very own little jailbird. Quite interesting. If someone could drop her link, everyone, if there's anyone here who hadn't seen them, pass it along to your friends. Everyone needs to read them. Because according to Ernie, the freaking Secret Service arrested him. Like, you ever imagine what goes on in his head? Like, I could just imagine the movie that's playing in that mind all the time. I kind of want to like email him, you know, make him think that he has a fan club. I was always nice to Ernie, you know, even though like I would give him so much shit. Like, I was nice to him. You know, I can be nice to anybody until you push me to that point, and then the raging bitch comes out, which doesn't happen that often, but it does, you know. I'm not gonna lie. I have my moments. I'm a brat. Hey, Cat Swan. Yes, Manchester. Let's all email him. He would be elated. If he got emails from all of us, dumb mean girls, that would make his day. And like, I would be down to interview him. I'm not going to pay for it. Like, whatever you have to pay for, I'm not doing that. I'm broke. I'm broke as fuck. That's why my Cash Apps are running today. Give me all your money. Hey, Queen Ashley. They are but hurt over there. I was listening to Tiger Mama, like I was saying, and God love her. I mean, someone has to, right? It took everything I had just to get through a good 5 minutes. Like, she lost me at the fried chicken, mashed potatoes, corn, and stuffing. Like, it took too long to get that sentence out. But they were talking about like what everybody's cooking for dinner, you know, and I like those kind of conversations because it gives me ideas. I run out of dinner options, you know, like because I'm such a planner. Like, I plan all the meals and shit, and oh, got to keep something interesting in the rotation. And then I was watching something earlier. What do you guys call dinner? Because I was watching this thing earlier. I think it was on TikTok, where there's like this whole debate going on Facebook in some community group, whether it's dinner or supper. Hey, Kels. Yes, I love, like, I always get hungry too when everyone's talking about what they're cooking for sup dinner. Like, it's dinner at my house. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh my gosh. If you guys haven't tried the Mio water flavoring, it's strawberry pineapple. It's the energy one. Holy hell, that shit is delish. I could like drink gallons of it a day. Cause really all I drink is water, so I gotta jazz it up a little bit. Oh, I have gotten hooked on the Alani energy drinks. Normally I don't like energy drinks. I don't like that medicine-y, vitamin taste. Hey, Jason. Oh, hold on, Jason. I have a story for you. Um, but the Alani energy drinks taste just like the pre-workout stuff. It is so good. And yesterday I had one called Cosmic Stardust, and it's like a grape flavor. And then they have one that's called Cherry Slush. Oh, shit. It's the stuff dreams are made of. It's so good. I have a refrigerator. See, I used to be a big coffee person, but I haven't had coffee in like probably close to 8 months now. Now, the other day, we got this new coffee shop like in my area because where I live, we're like on the border of like being in the country and like being in the city. Like you go 5 minutes one direction and it's nothing but like farms and woods and fishing and stuff like that. You go 5 minutes in the other direction and you're like getting into downtown. So we've been wanting stuff like I think a Starbucks would do amazing out here. If I had the money, I would like buy a franchise and become a millionaire. But this place called Scooters beat me to it, and it's like a little drive-through coffee place, and they have like kind of just like a smaller version of what Starbucks has. They have breakfast sandwiches and cake pops. And I was so bad the other day. I had a birthday cake pop. It was amazing and probably 987,000 calories in it, but I didn't care. And I had, it's called a blender. It's basically like a frozen coffee thing, but it was peanut butter crunch and it was so good. So yeah, but I don't do coffee anymore. Yes, and it's so cute at Scooters because like when you go through the drive-through after you order it, they tell you, "Thank you, scoot on up." I was like, "Oh shit, I would not work here just because I would not want to say that because it's cute to hear someone else say it. I would feel stupid." So yeah, Jason, the story is we had two new squirrels. Um, I didn't want them because I get so attached to them. They're a ton of work when they're babies and you're trying to get them out of the nest, so to speak. Um, but anyway, against my wishes, she took on these squirrels, and I just had a feeling that it was going to end badly. And unfortunately, the two babies, they were a brother and a sister. They didn't make it. And that's the downside when you bring wild animals home and you try to rehab them, like especially if you don't have experience. And it's not that she didn't have experience, because she's seen me do it many, many times. Like I have taken care of many baby squirrels. She goes to college full time. So, she just, and plus when something happens and they fall out of the nest or their whole nest is still in the tree branch when it hits the ground, anything can happen, right? They're tiny. If anyone has ever seen a brand new baby squirrel, they're smaller than the palm of your hand, and these barely have their eyes open. So there's just all kinds of things internally that can go wrong. They also can get like the same type of illnesses that kittens get. So, yeah, so she tried. And they are a lot of work. You have to bottle feed them every couple of hours. You have to be careful and not introduce solid foods too quickly. You don't want to just go straight from the bottle to like pecans or something because even though they'll eventually figure out how to get them open. Their teeth, they are like little razor blades, but they're small at that point. So you want to start them off with like pecans that are already shelled or like a softer nut, fruits, dried fruits, things like that. So they have been added to the pet cemetery that we have at the back of my property because I don't just like, even though they're wild animals, I don't just toss them in the woods for other wild animals to. Thank you for the Cash App. You know who you are. I'll give you a shout out by name if you want me to. Um. Oh wow, Erica. Yeah. So taking care of baby squirrels is a lot like taking care of baby kittens when they're on the bottle. Hey, Redstone. Kaz. Mr. Nobody. Hello to everyone coming in. Love your faces. Louis almost got his first mole yesterday. Hey, Luna. Yeah, Peanut is still lingering around somewhere. I'm thinking that there's actually a squirrel family that found its way, like on my back porch. Um, when my dad redid the backyard, he added like a cover to the back porch. Well, there's a place where like a wooden tile is missing, and there's a squirrel family that lives up there. So I'm thinking that might be where he is. So he stayed close to home, and he now has babies of his own, if that's the case. But those suckers are so loud. And my pit bull, Judah, freaks out because he can totally hear those squirrels up there. And what they do is they run across the inside of that roof thing, and there's a little like a knot hole about in the center of the porch, and what they do is they run across and they'll poke their little heads and look at him, and then they pop back up and run in the other direction. So Judah just wears himself out running back and forth across the porch. And if anyone knows anything about pit bulls, they like to climb. So he will literally get up on the table on the back porch. He climbs on top of the grill. He tries to balance on the railing around the porch, anything he can do to try to get those squirrels. And he's not doing it to kill them. He wants to play with them because in his mind, any small thing like that is like his stuffed animals that he plays with. So he totally gets the zoomies to try to get these squirrels. It drives me crazy because I'll be sitting there in the mornings and all I hear is dun, 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 dun. And then I hear the grills shaking and he just knocks stuff over. It's awful. The squirrels are amazing. Like I never thought that I would get so attached to like a little vermin, honestly. But yeah, so my squirrel rehabbing days are over because it breaks my heart when something happens to them. You know, you put so much effort into making sure they're okay. And even though I know I did everything right, you still kind of feel like a failure when something goes wrong. Pablo's killing all the stuffed animals. Judah just got a new duck, and it's a huge duck. But it didn't take him but like 2 hours, and there's already stuffing coming out of it. So I don't think he has a stuffed animal that doesn't have like a section of different colored thread holding it together. I mean, I've stapled them back together. I've wrapped duct tape around a wing or two. You do what you got to do because those suckers are not cheap. And luckily, he understands which ones are his stuffies and he doesn't go for mini me stuffies because that child, even though she will be 11 next month, she has a collection of, oh gosh, so many. What are those things? Squishmallows? Oh my goodness. Well, that's good that they eat together instead of fighting. Hey, sweet Vixen. So, I've been listening a little. Like, I tried to get caught up after being sick. It's a lot. If you miss a day and, or like 2 consecutive days, and then you try to catch up, you might as well forget it. Especially when everyone's like spinning out at the same time because Mama T was on one for a couple of days. I don't even know what she was bitching about, honestly. Something to do with Charlie and this and that and everybody else. And but I could have sworn that in her raspy voice, she stated that she was done with the drama, right? Like she said, I'm done. This is how I feel. I'm over it. Everyone else needs to just let it go too. Because I remember I was like, what the fuck? How can you just expect everyone to let it go? You know, we all feel things differently. I'll be damned if I'm gonna let some stuff go. Other stuff I could give two shits about. I could give two shits about being called a dumb mean girl. I think it's funny. Now that's one thing, Lima. I've been watching Brett. Like I noticed that I cannot watch Brett if I'm at the gym. I tried to listen to him one night while I was at the gym, and I kept losing count of like what rep I was on, how many sets I had done. And then it got to the point where I couldn't even remember which machine I was supposed to go to next because I was just laughing so hard. And it's not easy to lift weights and do lunges and stuff when you're laughing as hard as I was. And it wasn't even, he wasn't even trying to like be funny at the point. I think one thing I was laughing at was the little dancing skeleton with the blonde hair in the corner of his screen. That made me giggle. And his one liners, like he's so freaking witty. And Brett the Crackhead, well, I don't know, maybe. He does have some good music. As yeah, Brad the Crackhead. I don't listen to him at all. Hey, Freeside. Um Yeah, I don't listen to Brad. I saw that there was a TikTok live last night with our good pal Tamori on it. And bitch, where's my money? Tamori, you have money to bond out of jail. You got money to pay everyone back. I hear you, Bullets. It's a lot to try to keep up with all this stuff. And then in the long run, who really cares? Like, you got these people out here with these news channels, but at the end of the day, who gives a fuck? I like listen to them over there sometimes, and you know, this chick's never done anything to me personally. Um, but it's so funny to hear some people sit there and they're like, "Oh, we're not bothered. We're not bothered." Well, if you're spending 2.5, 3 hours sitting here bitching about the same old stuff, something tells me you're kind of bothered. I didn't get to see the TikTok. I just saw it where you posted it in the chat, but I didn't really have time to watch it. Especially who has the time to watch Spurgs when they're all the same thing. You know, it's always the everyone else is wrong. I'm right. I'm the biggest badass on YouTube. Don't mess with me or you're going to get it. Blah, 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 blah. Like, come on. Everybody knows that I'm the biggest badass on YouTube. Not really. I'm so not the biggest badass. But I don't know. Like, it's just, we've gotten through all the retrogrades for the year. Well, not all of them because we're in a Jupiter retrograde now, but it's nothing like the Mercury retrogrades. So I don't know. Like, people have just been losing it lately. On one of the videos that Yeah Mom posted, it was the one where it was the email exchanges between Angelo and Ernie, and Angelo was trying so hard to like get an interview with them, you know, promising him the world as far as commissary goes. And I made a comment like, because Angelo kept saying, "What do you have on Nicole? Why was Nicole and James trying to help you escape so many times?" Buddy, because it was funny. It was funny to watch, Angelo. That it was for entertainment purposes only. So I made a comment that Angelo seemed like the kind of kid that tried to fit a square peg in a round hole and told him to chill out because it's just not that deep. And of course, here comes Tooth. Tina the Tooth Simmerly said, "Oh, it goes way deeper than you even know. What the hell? Like, she's been saying for 2 years now that there's this huge conspiracy and all these people are a part of it. But can we wrap it up, too? Because I'm ready to get to the conclusion of it all. Like, I want to see this amazing situation you've uncovered. Oh, yeah. Hang on. Let me try to remember how to draw. I'm still such a fucking rookie. Okay, I think I got it. Dun, dun, dun. You guys, over the weekend, they had the When We Were Young tour in Vegas. Ugh, let me just sound like someone we all know. Bitch. I would have loved to be there. They had My Chemical Romance came back for another spin around the totem pole. That was great.
Hey,
Hello, hello.
Sassy. Miss Sassy herself. So I was reading Angelo's emails to Ernie, and he discusses that he's working on his master's in psychology in childhood trauma. I highly doubt that's true. I have actually found Angelo to be very deceptive, for one, but two, he's super obsessed with me and James, aka Jimbo. He's trying to get a gotcha moment because Angelo, along with Ghost, they work closely with the police. And we would refer to these individuals as snitches and cop wannabes. What do you think?
Well, I noticed that there wasn't really not one email that he had sent that didn't mention you and James. And
The whole
this
James thing
guy,
throws me off.
yeah, and he just has his hands in so many pots. Like, when does this guy have time to sleep?
Well,
Or,
we know that he wasn't helping with female rescues in Western North Carolina or Eastern Tennessee. Remember
yeah,
that?
he moved on to animals, didn't he? Like, he
He
decided
did.
that he was going to do animal.
Hmm.
Which, don't get me wrong, animals need love too, but
Correct.
when you compare that to everything he said he was about when he first started peeking his head out from under the rock, it just kind of didn't add up. Like, I mean, if I was as great as he said he was, I would use my knowledge and my energy on the things that mattered most. And I'm sorry, but when it comes to human life versus animal life,
Animals. I'm going for humans.
exactly.
I'm going for humans. And this man touted for months how he worked for FEMA and would go to disasters. And this man hightailed it during Helene. He hightailed it to a part of Florida that was not experiencing Hurricane Helene, and he decided to start volunteering at an animal shelter, which, all right, cool. But that tells me that if you were in an active war zone, you would have been running and ducking for cover versus trying to protect and or save your fellow troops.
Right.
Now, I would like to also point out that Angelo mentioned that James and I regularly notified Ernie of when the police were coming so that he could escape. But don't forget, on Kel Bell's panel, he came out publicly, which with something that I already knew, that there was zero extradition for Ernie until June of 2024. When I called Ernie, he was in Knoxville at the hospital there for prepping for a colonoscopy. I already knew that he wasn't extraditable, but I didn't tell the audience that. I called to troll Ernie. So it would not have mattered. And Angelo literally admitted to that on Kel's panel with me. There was no extradition approved until June of 2024. He's correct. So
Right.
how did I let Ernie get away? How did James let Ernie get away? Now, what I did do with the help of others, when Ernie was on highway runs, we would figure out his location. We would call the police because he was in a bad mental state, right?
Yeah, and you would think that Angelo, with all his knowledge of the law and how things work, I mean, because the common criminals around here know that even if police know where he is, they're not going to go get him. What he
No.
did was, I mean, it was wrong, but let's be honest, they're busy with all the like serious criminals that are walking around. He is just a drop in the bucket.
Sure.
So it's just not that deep, Angelo. Get over it.
But Leslie B, she called her son-in-law that we have now found out she slept with, and got a hold of city cops in the jurisdiction of where Ernie's mother lived, between that and Angelia, and she got no flack. She got zero flack for that. I got blamed. James got blamed. But yet all of these people live in the same holler. The police didn't want Ernie, you guys. Not in that part of Kentucky. They're looking for people like Kevin Dixon. What's that other dude's name that allegedly bought him a BMW? What's that meth head's name? He
Um,
went up on speakeasies.
crap. I'll
I
have.
can't think of his name either.
Gosh, that seems like so long ago.
It starts with a J, right? Who is the guy that possibly was responsible for Miss Massengale's murder? That guy. I,
Jimbo,
ca-
what's his name?
I cannot think of his name. Not Brad. No. Starts with a J. Speakeasy had him up. Somebody loaned, somebody paid to have this guy come up. God, what the fuck? And then he got arrested for meth.
I'll
I
think
mean,
of it after we end, but
yeah, if anyone can remember that, it's the accusation is Thelma and this guy had an affair
oh
and
yeah, Josh
Josh
Shanks.
Shanks. Yes.
Why could I not remember that?
Yes, Josh Shanks. I mean, they're going after people like Josh Shanks and Kevin Dixon, not the Ernie Shells of Harlan, Kentucky. So they weren't going to do anything either, and it didn't matter. That's what's bothersome to me, that Angelo, who injected himself back in what, May, has suddenly now he's working on his master's in psychology with a minor in childhood trauma. If I can tell you anything about Angelo, due to his childhood trauma, has a cluster B personality disorder, and he's not to be trusted. He is not to be trusted.
I get the impression that he like puts a lot of his shit on everyone else, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff that he's gone through, yes, you know, I can be sympathetic to that. We've all been through our shit. But he has just got this holier than thou attitude
Mm-hmm.
that it makes him very unappealing as a person. Like, I can't get behind someone like that who thinks that their trauma was more severe or they know
Mm-hmm.
more, because we all experience things differently. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure that I have moments in my mind where the things I've gone through is worse than what anyone else has faced. I know that that's not the case, and I would never, like, go out here and make someone feel less than or that their shit doesn't matter because I have a big ego. Especially since he wasn't here from the beginning. Now, he says that he has seen all this stuff play
No, he
out.
hasn't.
Well, yeah, exactly. You weren't around. You weren't
He would
there
have known.
watching
He would have known
everything.
better. He would have known better that. So with James didn't warn Ernie or bail him out after the late summer of 2022, right? The last time James actually was active and trying to help, and I don't think with James, and I'm gonna keep calling him James because of the email. Um, I truly believe James and Thelma, they wanted to help Ernie. And I have been in my own personal life outside of YouTube, I have wanted to save the unsavable out of just let me help them. And I think that James and Thelma looked at Ernie as a person that had a horrible upbringing, did not ever have stability, and wanted to rein him in by not only helping him, but you know what I'm saying? But it also came with a cost to James and Thelma. There were no ill intentions with them helping. And at the time I felt the same way as Angelo does currently. I was like, how dare you help this guy? But I didn't have a history with Ernie.
Right. And that's
But
the
now,
stance I've always taken. Like, people over there, say what you want about Jimbo, but the person that I've always known has been someone that will try to help people. And I've always said it. Jimbo and Ernie had a 20-year history that none of
yeah,
us will ever understand.
never. I agree. There are people in my life that it took years for me to realize I have to cut them off now. And Jimbo and Thelma did.
Right.
But Jimbo never really bailed Ernie out. He and Thelma were there when he was at his worst mentally. And we always talk about the mental health in this country sucks, and it does take a what do it takes a what is it what did Hillary Clinton say? It takes a not a neighborhood, but whatever to help people. It's that was for kids. We're
Yeah.
talking about an
Takes a
adult
village
individual.
to raise a child.
Yes, but many adults that have significant mental health issues, if you were to give them like an IQ test, a psychological evaluation, most of them are mentally and emotionally still at the level of a juvenile, a teenager. So Thelma and Jimbo were there to try to help this guy, and they kept getting kicked in the teeth, and finally they realized this is a lost cause because
Hmm.
you don't want to enable the behavior. And Ernie depends on enablers. So for Angelo to make those claims, is disgusting, disingenuous. And if you're almost done with your master's in psychology, I'm going to respectfully ask that you go back and start with your undergrad freshman year because you don't get it.
Yep. I think he
Keeps
has
the
an
village. Thank you, Kat.
overwhelming desire to put himself on a pedestal, and I think that that is what makes me dislike him the most. Like,
But
bitch, you're no
I
better than
think that
any of
comes from
us.
his childhood chasing. I think it comes from the abuse and neglect that he suffered as a childhood. So we can look at Angelo and psychoanalyze him and say his want for control and justice and XYZ, I think that comes from him being sexually abused, physically abused, psychologically abused, shuffled through a multitude of foster homes. And I'm not excusing him because he's an adult at this point and he has to own his own behaviors, just like I would or anyone else. We have to own our own shit. He makes excuses for his behavior still to this day.
And when you
If
look
that
at
makes
it, it's
sense.
kind of like the other end. Like him and Ernie are so parallel in the way that they act. Like Ernie had the overwhelming desire to be this great hero, and for whatever reason Angelo had this desire to be the one that
Yes.
took Ernie down.
Yes. And that was the desire to be a hero. Holy crap. Yes. You just nailed this. Holy shit. Say that again.
Ernie and Angelo are parallel because Ernie had a desire to be the great hero in the community, and Angelo had the desire to be the hero that took Ernie down. It was so
Boom.
weird watching it play out too, because he basically shit on everyone else's efforts. And it's
Yep.
not even necessarily that everyone, had obvious efforts, but it was a joint project. I mean, it was through conversations and being on Ernie's panel and getting him to talk about things and tripping him up in his lies. That's how it all unfolded.
Yeah.
That's how
And a
everyone
lot of
started
people
to see.
and a lot of people didn't see the psychology behind what people like myself and others were doing, making friends with him to kind of reel him in, to stop his fuck shit, to try to gain some sort of trust with him. It wasn't because we liked him. I've never liked Ernie, but could I play nice with Ernie? Was it hard for me to play nice with Ernie? Absolutely, because for me personally, it's so hard to be fake.
Yeah,
But for the sake of getting an actual predator off the quote unquote streets, you did what you had to do. It wasn't because anyone was bailing Ernie out. Anytime that I fucked with Ernie, it was a psychological fuckery that I was doing with him.
yeah. I mean, you definitely had to know how to handle him. And like
Yes.
I realized early on, the more you attack him, the more he's going to react. But if you just talk to him like he's a person, eventually he's going to tell on himself. And it was hard. It was hard for me to be nice to him at times, knowing the shitty things he had done to people or the ways he had hurt people that I cared about.
Yeah. So there was a time where Ernie thought we were cool and he was calling me going, "You got to call Jimbo's prescriber. He's getting all these drugs." I never did any of the fucking sort. I never went and tried to find where Jimbo may or may not have been getting controlled substances. I knew as a healthcare professional, you can't get that information.
Exactly.
I wasn't gonna violate HIPAA to try to get that information, but would I like act like oh yeah, I'll help. Sure I did. It was anything to make Ernie think that he was in control. Ernie was never in control. Ernie is somebody that when he does die from HIV, AIDS, whatever, I'm not going to be like, oh man, now did he get me in June looking the way he did? Sure. I
Yeah.
was like, holy shit, this guy is definitely dying. Now, I don't want to see people die, but I'm definitely not going to shed tears over somebody's personal life choices, such as homosexual sex without protection.
Right.
Um,
And that's how
I'm
I kind of look at it. Is like, yeah, it sucks. I would hate for someone to lose their life in any sort of tragic way. But at the same time, you reap what you sow, buddy. This is karma coming back around,
but
letting
you
you
can
know that
also look
you
at it
made
from,
some messed up life
yeah,
choices.
but you can look at it from a I can look at it from a human standpoint, and I can look at Ernie in a box and I can say he had a terrible upbringing, not
Mm.
in which he has communicated because these all lies, but I understand in the core of me he was neglected, he was abused, he was probably sexually abused, psychologically abused, and he was gonna fail from the first breath out of his mother's werewolf womb. You know what I mean? But
Right.
that doesn't mean we can excuse the behavior of a middle-aged man because I didn't have the best upbringing. A lot of us did not have the best upbringing, but we make the conscious decision to not repeat the cycle.
Exactly.
Ernie decided to not only repeat the cycle, but to double down on the bullshit. And it's evident by the FOIA results that, yeah, mom has produced. And if you have not seen those videos or posts, I have shared them on my community page. Oh, let's not talk about Bandit. Bandit has been emailing me, spurging out because I'm
That one.
lying. I'm lying. You're lying, and I want you to go live and tell everyone you're lying. And I responded with a bunch of laughing emojis like, get fucked, bro.
And
No.
that one has like baffled me because there was a time when I liked Bandit before he got involved in all this Ernie stuff. I don't know what has gotten a hold of him and why he
He
is
wants a
so
dick. He wants a
ew.
dick. He wants a dick. So Isaac started in on Benny Keys way back in the day when we were all mods for BK. So
Right.
was Bandit. I don't know if you remember that or not. He'd even had
Briefly.
had Bandit on panel because Bandit was doing the whole tarot cards psychic bullshit, and everyone knew he was full of shit. Now, I would watch Bandit occasionally over the last 18 months, but honestly, he's such a drab. He's so boring. And now he's sucking Ernie's HIV dick. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird.
It is weird because, watched him a little bit more when he was like calling Ernie out and questioning him. And then it was
Hmm.
just like a switch flipped. And it's just so strange, but it's not strange enough to like have me intrigued enough to watch it. Like, I know.
I was told I sound like a gremlin. I
Yeah, there is a little.
now. Do I sound better?
Yeah.
Ribbit, ribbit. All right. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, it did sound like there was a little entity trying to put their 2 cents in.
It's StreamYard and AirPods. I don't know what the frick the problem
Mine always
is.
messes up too. But I can put like my janky knockoff earpods in and I don't have any problems. And you would think that for the price of actual AirPods, it would be a little better technology, but uh oh. Maybe she'll be back in a minute. Oh, Maggie called. So, even I was hoping that with being in jail that might humble the little gremlin somewhat, but it hasn't. I mean, you can tell by the tone of his emails that he's keeping up this big charade in jail, probably telling all these prisoners like what a badass he is and that he has brought down all these predators. It's quite sad. Just be yourself. If you are not comfortable just being who you are as a person, then that's probably your cue to reevaluate yourself. Like if you're ashamed to be yourself and you have to create this whole like persona and be something you're not, then you're probably doing life wrong. Yes, thank you, Texas Kim, for dropping my Cash App. If anyone would like to help me, I'm poor. I'll take $1. I would take less, but Cash App won't let you give less because I'm going to probably get white girl wasted this weekend. And I might even share pictures. Probably not because I could probably get in trouble, but still. I'm going to have stories to tell. Frogs. It's funny because I love frogs. I don't like them when they like to jump at me, but I don't like anything that jumps at me. It's tough to do drama all the time, Ash. And sometimes I just get in a mood. I'll get a wild hair up my ass to, just comment on a few of the things that I've seen because it is quite ridiculous. And like to hear people say, that everyone else is wrong, knowing that the stuff they're sitting there bitching about, other people doing, they're literally in that moment doing the same exact thing. Like I was listening, I'll just say it. I was listening to Katie yesterday, and to say that I'm somewhat disappointed in who she has turned out to be is kind of an understatement, and I really don't think that she cares all that much. She has just found let me see how to put it. She has found like an arena and a topic that pulls in the people. Because let's be honest, people love to talk about Nicolina. People love to talk about Jimbo. And so as long as you're talking about that, you're going to get a shit ton of people in your chat. And for them to sit there and say, oh, well, what they're doing over there. Hang on one second. She made the comment yesterday saying, that is hate bonding at its finest, bitch. Okay? That is hate bonding. And I'm sitting there and I'm reading through her chat and I'm listening to the words that are coming out of her mouth. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? You're literally hate bonding right now as you're criticizing people for hate bonding. It's just so strange. Like, I'm more of the kind of chick that, all right, let's talk it out. You cannot like me. I cannot like you. And then we can be done with it. You go on about your merry way and I'll go about mine. And I'm not going to lose sleep over any of it. Well, Ash, it's hard. We've all made our mistakes when we first started our channel. A lot of people remember how I started mine. I came out balls to the wall going for Benny's jugular. In fact, that was my big debut, was calling him out for an hour and a half, and I had jokes that night. But he had done something to a chick that I really cared about at the time. She had become, a good friend of mine, and what he did to her was dirty. But then I found myself, like, because I did that, I found myself with people like no thanks and Griff, wanting to latch onto me and pull me onto their team, and it just got weird. It got so weird. And now they're going after Kells a lot, and constantly mocking, which, don't get me wrong, I have made fun of the way Mama T talks. But let the record show that I was the first one to do an impression of Mama T's voice. And now I can't even do it anymore because it's become a thing. But to sit there, and they made the comment yesterday talking about Curious Idea, and it really, it pissed me off, because when you are an admitted recovering alcoholic, you should not be criticizing anyone else for having issues with alcohol. You shouldn't even think about letting stuff like that roll off your tongue. It's in poor taste, it's trashy as fuck, and it's just wrong. I don't feel like anyone should be attacked for trying to overcome an addiction. Now, if you're out here saying, I haven't touched drugs in 20 something years, but you're sniffling and snotting all over the place, and, double dipping and borrowing the same amount of money from 13 different people, chances are good that your 23 years might be a little inflated. And we all know who I'm talking about. But, like, I don't get down like that. If someone is actively trying to recover and get better, because addiction and substance abuse is an illness just like anything else, people go into it wanting to have fun, and then next thing you know, you have a full-blown habit, and it's not so fun anymore. So if someone is brave enough to try to cut that out of their life and heal from it, I'm not going to make fun of them. But if you come on here and you're acting like you're all cracked out, or it's very obvious that you're just not right, like you're in another dimension, I'm probably going to have something to say. But I'm really tired of people attacking Curious Idea over that shit, because I think that we should all lift her up and celebrate the fact that she is doing this on her own, as far as I know. And that's not easy. A lot of people think they beat addiction or alcoholism on their own, and then they try to do it and find out that they need help. So for someone to be able to just take that leap of faith and do it cold turkey without any clinical help or anything like that, then I am not going to be that person that causes them to take another drink. And the people who are talking shit about her should be ashamed, especially if that person that's talking shit or allowing other people to talk shit has suffered alcoholism as well. I'm very proud of Curious Idea too, Erica. And she is welcome over here anytime. If she ever wants to share her story or she needs to talk about things, I'm here. And I think most of us that are here now feel that way. People don't understand that, like, addiction problems and substance abuse, people are dealing with that more often than not. You would be amazed at how many people are trying to overcome that, and it's a lot of times it's through no fault of their own. It's simply because they had an accident and they were prescribed medication. Or I know a big thing now is people who are trying to get off opiates are being prescribed medications that are just as addictive, if not more. And so all you're doing is replacing one habit with another. And these clinics that provide these medications are making a killing off of it. It's just like a pill mill. They're cranking. We have a couple of clinics like that around here. We don't have, I think we might still have one methadone clinic left in our area, but most of them are the Suboxone and Subutex clinics. I was a manager at CVS before, and that was when those medications first started really taking off. And from what I understand, there's like a shortage of those medications now. So you have these people who are relying on that medicine to not go back to like pain pills and stuff like that, who can't get the medicine that they need to keep them safe. It's a cycle that I wouldn't wish on anyone. And I've had people close to me that have struggled with things like that, and it's heartbreaking. I was a big party girl when I was younger. I'm no stranger to that stuff. It's by the grace of God that I got out the way that I did, but I was liking it a little too much too. I'm not ashamed to say that because I've overcome a lot of things that would make some people's heads spin. I don't know why they're all so bothered with you, Kels. It's kind of funny. I mean, I guess if you look back, it goes back to when you were letting all the mean girls come in your chat and Nick was on your panel. Unless something major happened since then that I don't know about, that's just so silly to me. Like, I'm going to think it's ridiculous if people give Ash shit for being over here today. And I know that she has gotten some backlash, but that's just so dumb. And so when you think about all this shit that these people talk over stupid things like that, it's like, really? That's all you can come up with to talk about? That's not newsworthy. That's nothing that the people need to know or the people freaking care about, quite honestly. The only reason any of those people over there care about it is because it gives them a reason to all come together and talk shit and do that hate bonding that they all make fun of so much. I don't expect not one single person who ever comes in my chat. It is not expected that any of you share the same opinions as me because I'm me and you're you. It's not a prerequisite that you dislike all the people that I dislike in order for you and I to get along. I don't play like that. I don't have time for that shit. And I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm going to be friendly with who I want to be with. And if that makes you just a dumb mean girl, well, so be it. And all you people that are like, oh, shit. The other day, there was this whole conversation about, the whole cosmic brownie things, and people were bringing that up again. Let me remind you, Miss Ma'am, that your ass was sitting there. Hold on. Rapper, get the fuck out of here. All of you were sitting there going right along with it at the time. So whatever. And if it is rapper, like there was a time I used to really like rapper, regardless of the popular opinion. Like I remember him when I was over in ABs all the time, and like he was cool. I He was always friendly with me. I remember when his grandfather was sick, and I told him, I'm so sorry that your grandfather's going through this. Hang in there. It'll be okay. I'll be praying for him. I don't know what's happened to him, but he pisses a lot of people off. And I get it. He's just trying to find his place where he fits in. He's just going about it the wrong way. But you're not going to come in my chat stirring up shit, rapper. I never have shit go on in my chat, so we're not going to start today. And yippee, you got a screenshot of when I cammed up. I don't give a fuck. I had messy hair, no makeup, the wind was blowing. I don't care. Because even on my worst day, I probably look better than you. She said that recently that she's going to call CPS. Surely not. Could you imagine calling CPS and the whole motive behind it is to protect the child? And then when you start explaining the situation to whoever answers the phone, you're like, yeah, this happened a year ago, but I'm just now worried about it. Like, what the hell? Oh, you're kidding. Okay, rewind. I retract that statement, but it would be silly for someone to do that. And honestly, everyone knew what was going on when that happened. I mean, come on. Newsflash, my youngest will come home from school and swear that she is starving to death, like wants to eat everything. One, she's a growing girl. Two, she's too nice. Like I pack her lunch every morning. I get up and I make her lunch, a good lunch. And but she shares with everyone. If there's someone who doesn't have a lunch or a kid who doesn't like what the school is serving, because let's be honest, school lunches have gone downhill from when we were kids. She'll share, and I always pack her a little bit extra because I know she does that. But she'll come home starving to death, and I have to tell her, I get on to her. It's not that I'm withholding food from her, but I simply explain to her, look, if you eat all of your Swiss cake rolls today, you're not going to have any for the rest of the week, and I'm not buying anymore. So it's that kind of situation. Plus, whatever food comes into this house, just because I put it in her lunchbox does not mean it belongs to just her. It's up for grabs for anyone that lives in this house. I have two older kids that live here too. And if they want a freaking cookie or a Swiss cake roll, they can have it. And if someone throws a fit about it, I'm going to throw a fit about that. That's just the way it is. That's my job as a parent. Or if she wants to chase a Swiss cake roll with some Nutter Butters, that ain't happening either. You can have one sweet snack at the end of the day. And it better not be too close to dinner time because you're going to eat whatever I put in front of you at night. And if you don't want to eat it, you go to bed with a grumbly tummy. I don't care. So people really need to let the cosmic brownie thing go. Because everyone was making such a big deal about it, now I can't even get any cosmic brownies DoorDash to me, damn it. Yes, kids and sweets. Let's be honest. A kid is always, now, my other daughter, my older daughter, she was the exception because she would always rather have a big bowl of fruit instead of like cakes and candies and stuff. I didn't like a lot of the school lunch either, free side. One of my favorite things probably now when I was in elementary school, our pizza was like the homemade cafeteria lady pizza where it was like probably the same dough that they used to make the rolls, and it was like ground beef and cheddar cheese and like some kind of tomatoey sauce, but I don't think it was pizza sauce. Um, but by the time I got to like fifth grade, sixth grade maybe, it went to the frozen rectangle pizza. That was just so much better. And I really liked our hamburgers. Um, Now, when I moved to Vegas, the cafeterias were different there. We had like these lunch tickets where we like filled out what we wanted. And you could get pizza, like they had pizza brought in, so you could get like a slice of pizza, or they had a taco salad bar. And me and my friends would always get a big taco salad to share, and you had to pay extra for extra meat and beans. So we would do that, and we would share a taco salad. And that's pretty much what I had to eat every day my first my first year of school in Vegas. And then when we got to high school, it was open campus for lunch, and like only the dorks ate in the cafeteria. And then my junior year, I went to a vocational school. I never really ate lunch, but in the mornings, I would get like a hot ham and cheese sandwich and share it with people. And then at lunch, it was usually like I'd buy a popsicle or something that I really didn't need to eat. So yeah, moral of the story is just the cosmic brownies is old. You know, we have a duty as parents to monitor what our children eat, especially now that I'm like on this whole fitness journey. I really try to encourage all of my kids to make good choices when it comes to what they put in their bodies. And I try to provide good options for them. I keep a lot of yogurt in the house, a lot of fresh fruit, stuff like that. We did. We had a salad bar and a taco salad bar. Yes, fuck them kids. They're lucky to be even eating with the price of food these days. Holy hell. There used to be a time that I could feed my family of five. And at the time, my brother in law lived here. I could feed all of us for about 150, maybe $160 a week if I had to get like laundry stuff and dog food. That those days are long gone. Because now just uh, three adults and a child is like 200, more than that. And every week prices go up, right? Like something will be $4 one week, and then you go back the next week and it's like 75 cents more. And I'm very meticulous when it comes to food planning. Like I said, I plan every meal, and I shop only for what I need to make those meals. And then, I have to buy stuff like for lunch boxes. So yeah, it's usually around 200, 225 a week for groceries now. And that's just for exactly what I need. There's no extra stuff. Other people's food stamps used to last all year. And there's people out here still, it's sad because there are people still out here in front of the stores, like in front of the dollar store, the gas station, just trying to sell their food stamps. And I'm thinking, Lord, what do you eat all month? Yes, having to eat different, like it's impossible to be healthy. And, that's the way they have it set up. They have it set up so that people cannot be healthy with their food choices, which, puts money in the medical field because people are so unhealthy. I mean, I could really get deep into it and go into all the conspiracies, but I'm not going to be that person. But the thoughts do cross my mind. See, how do these people get this enormous amount of food stamps? Because we never qualified, you know. I don't know. I know a lot of people lie on their applications to get assistance and things like that, but I would be the person that got caught. I really would. And then when you look at like all the hormones and stuff that are in foods, like, okay, looking at young girls these days, like when I go to school events and I see like mini me's classmates, some of these girls don't look 11 and 12 years old. And it's because of all these outrageous hormones that they're putting in all this food. I guess to keep up with supply and demand, they're pumping up all the cattle and there's all this hormones in the milk and it's just crazy. Crazy, crazy. Yes, if you have food allergies or you try to stick to an all organic diet and things like that, it's very pricey. I try to eat clean as much as possible, but and the pesticides on the produce, we don't have many options for grocery stores like where I live. We have one that is ridiculously overpriced. And then they just opened like a smaller version of it with a different name. But what they do is they sell like the overstock from the big store, but it's still just as expensive. Then we have Walmart, which there hasn't been one time that I haven't gone to try to like pick through fruit or produce at Walmart and there's like fruit flies and stuff all over the place. Or the meat, they'll have like brown meat out on the shelves. It's just gross. But if you're looking to save money, then that's kind of your own option. And then we have another store, which is like a bag your own kind of store, which always smells like they have broken sewer lines, but it's very cheap. But you never know what you're going to get there. So, like, don't get in the habit of buying a particular item every week because it might not be available. Well, it's been fun, you guys. And Mimi had dance practice after school. They're doing every year they do like a family fun night, like a fall festival. So they have the dance line girls will do like a dance clinic with the younger girls and they all perform at the little festival thing. So she's doing that on Thursday. So she had practice for that today. And then next year she will be able to do dance line. She does tumbling right now. And she's about to do soccer. And she does 4-H. And in February she'll have the beauty pageant. So, yeah. Good times, good times. Keeps me busy. So, I appreciate all of you for being here. Next week, we're going to get back on track with the fitness channel now that I'm feeling up to it again. I've had more progress, so it's exciting to talk about that. And then we're still going to follow up with the whole twin flames, because I heard that there was an emergency. He had to rush back to Canada. So the question is, has he been shacking up with all this time? So we'll talk about that. But I hope all of you have an awesome evening, and thank you for those that donated. If anyone still wants to get in on that action, it's greatly appreciated. And I am going to have a wonderful weekend. I hope all of you do too. Yes, I'll come back live. I don't know if I'm going to do it Monday because I might be recovering from Friday through Sunday. But maybe Tuesday I'll go live. Depends. All right, everyone behave. Be safe out there. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And I love you all. Bye.